Hola, hoy vamos a hablar de los usos de los pronombres de objeto directo o direct object pronouns. La mayoría de la información necesaria está en el paquete, pero hay información también útil en esta presentación y voy a hablar en estos apuntes sobre información que también deben saber. ¿Okay? Así, primero, necesitas saber que el objeto directo de una oración es la persona o la cosa que recibe la acción directamente. So if I were to say, for example, yo leo el libro, I read the book. The book is what I am reading, and it's a direct object. And this is something that you're really just going to end up needing to practice with a bit to get more comfortable with. It's going to be a little bit of trial and error in doing some work and sending things into me and going from there, okay? Para encontrar el objeto directo de una oración, es necesario saber qué, what o quién, who, está recibiendo la acción. And the most important thing to remember here is that we're not talking about, who or what does the action. We are talking about the exact opposite, who or what is receiving the action. So who or what something is done to. What's being acted upon. So before we go much further, I want you to look at the middle of la primera página, where we have a little conversation here entre papá y Pablo. The instructions you have say, mira la conversación abajo, hay un sustantivo being a noun, which says que se repite, que es. So what you want to look for and listen for here as I read through this is the noun, not someone's name, but a different noun that's being repeated, okay? So papá dice, Pablo, necesitas comprar un móvil nuevo. And Pablo dice, pero no quiero un móvil nuevo. Sure. Papá dice, pero tu móvil no funciona. Busca un móvil nuevo. Pablo dice, busqué un móvil en la tienda ayer. No vi un móvil que me gustó. Papá dice, ADM, yo voy a comprar un móvil para ti. So what you need to do on the line above that is write down the noun that you believe was repeated again and again and again. And the whole point, of course, of using pronouns to begin with is to learn to avoid, aprender a evitar, la repetición, the type of repetition of a noun or a name that we were just seeing and hearing in that little conversation, okay? The first thing you need to do in order to be able to do this is to be able to find the direct object in a sentence, okay? So at the bottom of la primera página y al principio de la segunda página, tenemos tres ejemplos. And the only thing you need to be able to do here is find the direct object. I'm not asking you to rewrite anything or to answer any questions, but find the direct object and write the direct object down on the line provided. So I'll walk through the first example at the bottom of the first page a little bit with you. Yo compré un móvil nuevo. And what you need to do is ask this question, ¿Qué compré yo? What did I buy? What I need to write down on that line is un móvil nuevo, because what you need to do in order to accurately get that direct object out of the way and be able to use a pronoun is you take any articles and adjectives that are related to the noun in question, and you sweep them all up and take them all and turn them into one direct object. So what you need to write down in that first line, ¿Qué compré yo? Un móvil nuevo. It all goes. Any articles like un, any adjectives like nuevo. So you want to make sure that you are also keeping an eye out for that, especially with letra B, not as much with letra C. So I'd recommend que ustedes pausen el video, sí, and when you're done with B y C, continue to move forward, okay? So towards the middle of página 2, you're going to notice that we have the direct object pronouns written out there. So we have, in English, they are me, you, him, her, you, and it. It can only be used as an object pronoun. Do not start writing these down as a subject pronoun. Us, you all is only used in Spain, and then them or you all. So our direct object pronouns are me, te, lo, la, nos, os, los, and las. A few things to make sure that you're aware of. Okay, the first thing to be sure you can do, el primer paso, is to try to find the direct object in a sentence and then replace it with the appropriate direct object pronoun. So you want to find that noun that's a direct object along with any articles and or adjectives that are modifying, in other words, describing that noun, and you want to replace it. So that's what you'll be doing initially at the top of page 3. If you are a very visual learner and it helps you to do so, I would strongly recommend doing something, even if you're working on your computer, putting a circle won't necessarily work that well if you're not working with a printout, but subraya, underline, or resalta, which means highlight the direct object in the original sentence to help you recall what it is and to give you fewer steps to do in the end. So if you need help with figuring out how to be able to do that on a Google Doc or something, please feel free to let me know and I'll give you a hand, okay? At the bottom of página 2, por ahora, vamos a poner los DOPs, or direct object pronouns, o either, and this is in a general sentence, a regular sentence. Rules for commands are different, and you will get to those shortly. En frente del verbo conjugado, so either in front of the conjugated verb, o adjunto, adjunto significa attached, al infinitivo de un verbo. So they either go in regular usage. This does not have to do with commands. The rules are different for commands. Either in front of a conjugated verb or attached to the infinitive or unconjugated form of a verb. So if you take a look at the top of página 3, I will walk through número 1 with you just to make sure that we're in decent shape, hopefully here, for the example. So what you're looking is find and replace, and that's really the first step. So you're going to find the direct object in the sentence, and then rewrite the sentence, replacing it with the appropriate direct object pronoun. So for número 1, we have buscaste un videojuego nuevo. Buscaste is our verb. It is the to form in the preterite of the verb buscar, to look for or to search. What did you look for? What did you search for? Un videojuego nuevo, a new video game. So once again, you sweep up videojuego, which is that noun, el sustantivo, with the appropriate article in the modifying adjective, nuevo, and that all goes. So un videojuego nuevo is masculine and singular, and it is a thing. So what you're going to use to replace the direct object pronoun that you'll use to replace un videojuego nuevo is lo. So the answer you need to have for número 1 at the end as 2 separate words is lo buscaste. You looked for it. Give the next few a try. Pause the video, give the next few a try, and then return to get the information about commands. Most of our practice now will be with commands from here on out, but please be aware that this information will be necessary and we will be returning to it in the future. Direct object pronouns are not going to go away, okay? Okay, now that you're set, we're going to deal a little bit with pronoun placement and commands, okay? So with affirmative commands at the bottom of página 3, you need to be aware that you are always, with any type of affirmative command, going to attach the direct object pronoun to the end of the command. This is where things get a little wonky in some cases. Since you're adding something extra, you have to put an accent on the third syllable. It's actually the third from the end of any command that has more than one syllable. I don't expect you to really have this figured out now, and we can certainly go over it in class because it's kind of complicated to explain in a video. But as more of us get to this point, we can certainly go over it, and I'm not too terribly concerned about it in the notes, okay? And you count from right to left from the end of the word towards the beginning as you try to figure out these syllables. So once again, that's something I'm more than happy to work on in class and walk through with you as more of us get to the point where we're doing these notes, okay? So what you're going to do here at the bottom of página 3, find the direct object, rewrite the sentences as affirmative commands, and you want to replace the direct object with the direct object pronoun. I have done the first one for you as an example. So we start with teclear tu nombre de usuario. And so the direct object pronoun is tu nombre de usuario. It's masculine singular, so it would be it, and we replace it with lo, and then with tecle alo. And you end up, once again, having to do that right to left counting to get the third syllable from the end. Once again, it's a little wonky, and so we'll walk through it as a class once most of us get to it. So if you think you've got it and want to give it a try, awesome. Or if you want to ask me individually, that's also fine. But be aware if you're really thinking, I'm not so sure about this, let me know. Give números 2 a 5 a try, okay? Los mandatos negativos son más simples. They're definitely a lot simpler because all that happens here is the direct object pronoun goes between the word no and the command form. So this one I'm going to give you to kind of do on your own without me walking through an example with you. But we have, simply like you would write in a regular sentence, the only thing you need to really remember here is to put that direct object between the no and the negative command. Okay, if you have questions, please make sure to ask me and also make sure to share your work with me as you are finishing. Muchas gracias. I will give you feedback.